Across the nation, many Muslims woke up with a pit in their stomach following the election of Donald Trump, who had made opposition to their growth here in America a centerpiece of his campaign. From those who fear they'd be forced to leave the country to women who are now afraid to wear their hijabs in public, many are scrambling to figure out what a Trump presidency will mean for them. Joining us today is Sarah Harvard, a Muslim staff writer at BRIC who regularly reports on religion, race, and politics. Welcome to BK Live.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so surprising election results for many. What would you say is sort of general reaction or some of the reactions from the Muslim community?
I think a lot of people are still in denial. I know, for example, I still can't believe that we elected a president that was endorsed by the Ku Klux Klan, first of all. And I think a lot of people are shocked. I have Muslim friends that were crying. And I know mothers, my mother herself is, trying to be strong and told me it's okay, just trust in Allah, we'll all be okay. But I think more than anything, it's a sense of uncertainty that's really frightening Muslim Americans. They don't know what their future's going to be anymore. They don't know they're going to have a home in January 20th. So it's really a mixed bag of emotions right now. Some people think that, it's impossible for Donald Trump to, go forward with these proposals, but now with a Republican-controlled House and Senate and possibly Supreme Court, we don't know what the future holds for us right now, and that's terrifying.
So we know Trump made a big splash when he stood there with his Donald J. Trump is calling for announcement, but he's continued to walk it back and hedge around, and now people like your mom may take some solace in saying, okay, he can't just make a law. That's not his job. But what's the sentiment just in the community of feeling like, is it time to start making an alternate plan? Like, what is the mood now that it's happened?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people, before Trump got elected, a lot of people joked about being put in an internment camp or going back to their home countries. Right. And now that's actually a possibility for some people. I know there's a family, I'm not exactly sure which state exactly, but they're a Pakistani-American family, and their kid got bullied, horribly, and they decided to move back to Pakistan. And that's, that is a real-life story. So, I think the possibility of, more Muslims emigrating out is scary, but also I don't think Donald Trump's essentially walking back on his comments. Discrimination against Muslim immigrants has been going on for years now, and it's not really been talked about when we have a Democrat president. So that's another issue of concern. And also, he's talking about extreme vetting, right? Extreme vetting exclusively for Muslims from terrorist-prone countries, and that's such a vague statement. That could be, someone from Morocco, which has been a long-time ally of the United States. And it's just, it's the most, I think, for me, the shocking thing is that a lot of these Muslim immigrants are fleeing dictators like, primarily Mubarak or General Sisi, the Iranian regime. And we here in the United States elected a president that emulates those type of people, who applauds dictators. Right. So that's shocking, I think, for us, and probably mainly why I'm in denial that he's our president now, or going to be our president.
Well, you're not the only person in denial.
Of course.
What would you say Muslim Americans should expect from their fellow Americans, or in an ideal world?
So I don't want to speak on behalf of all Muslim Americans,
of course. As if you could.
Yeah, I'm like Moroccan and Japanese, so I'm very racially ambiguous, and I have that privilege, and I'm aware of that. But I think, I've been blessed to have a lot of friends who messaged me personally and said that we'll stand by you. One of our editor-in-chief and our co-founder, the co-founder of Mike, the first thing he did is gave me a hug and said, we're here for you and we'll fight for you, and we're in this together, and that's just so heartwarming. But in the same time, I have friends and that are Trump supporters who think that I'm having this victimization complex, right? Meanwhile, talking about how they're suffering through a white genocide and that white men are being discriminated against every single day. But I think for the most part is that the people who reach out to you are people they could trust, I feel like. And more than anything right now, we need to have, we need to organize together. It's time to unite, regardless if you're white, Muslim, African American, LGBTQ. This is a time to come together and, dictate what our future holds right now.
So there also is a segment of the community that's making a concerted effort to align themselves with Trump, sort of saying, okay, these are the people who are going to be in power, and there's some overlay in their values outside of sending everyone back. I wondered if they've been a vocal contingent in the Muslim community.
See, I know a few of them, and I don't think they're very influential in the community themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of these people who are vocal for Trump had a very anti-Clinton bias, and they feel disenfranchised. And I understand that. You know, we've been on perpetual wars, and civil liberties for Muslim Americans pretty much don't exist. And they view Clinton, as under her Secretary of State term, as an example of that, and they don't take Trump seriously. And that's the scary thing, is that, you know, Muslims like me and other journalists take what Trump says literally, whereas his supporters, or people who, you know, find them as a joke, don't take it seriously and don't take him literally. And that's the scary thing. But for the most part, I feel like either these Muslim Trump supporters want a free one-way ticket back to their home country, or that they kind of want to, I guess, be more of a tokenized voice in that Republican field, or the majority, I guess.
Okay, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
we'll
you so
continue
much.
to read
Really
you over the
appreciate
mic. You're going to have to come back and join us again soon.
Yeah, I'd love
because,
to.
We're going to have a lot to talk about in the next
Sounds
few months.
good. We will. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.